Hello, my name is Dawn Casey. Today we're going to talk about how to leave a job that you hate. Are you currently working a job that you just don't like? Well, you're not alone. According to a CBS News report, of the country's approximately 100 million full-time workers, 51% aren't engaged at work, meaning they feel no connection to their jobs. Another 15% are actively disengaged. They resent their jobs. They tend to gripe to coworkers and drag down the office morale as a result because they are so miserable. Are you one of these groups of employees? Well, if so, it's probably time to change your job. So, in this video, we will explore the practical steps to take to find another job, to get you out of that miserable situation, even during this time of high unemployment. Why you should move on, and how to prevent this from happening again. Let's get into our topic. Hello and welcome. My name is Dawn Casey with over 20 years of leading human resource departments and the recruitment function. I now help people with their career challenges, changes, and of course questions. This is the Career Rescue Coach YouTube channel. What makes this channel a little bit different is I've been helping employees for the last 20 years navigate the career waters. And I've had a lot of success in my own career, and I share stories and insights throughout these videos. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, of course. And let's get into how to leave a job you hate. First, let me say that no job is worth your stress, your health, or happiness. And it always makes us feel better and more empowered when we start taking steps towards getting out of a bad situation. I want to first talk about the steps you're going to take. Then we need to talk about why you should take that leap and the importance of that, and how to prevent it from happening again, because that's really the goal. You don't want to have to keep getting stuck in bad jobs. Okay, so here are the steps. Number 1, set a date for departure. Figure out how long you can last, how many paychecks you need, and what benefits that you can take with you. Then set your date for departure with yourself. It helps to have a date so that you know when the torture will end, and it helps you remain calm. And include your 2 weeks notice in your time schedule. Now, to be clear, this is a date with yourself. You will not be sharing this date with anybody else. It's a date for your own sanity. Typically, I would say look 30 to 60 days out, although if you work a plan very diligently for exit, there's no reason why you can't be out of there in 30 days. Number 2, update your resume right away. Update your resume with your current skills, any new software and hardware that you've worked at this job, anything else that you think is relevant, your duties and your responsibilities that you've had at this position. If you have worked at the job for less than 6 months, I would say don't include it on your resume, and you can just tell employers, future employers, that you were just seeking employment. If it's longer than 6 months, I might include it, and that's okay. Be sure to pick a more modern template for your resume with a little bit of color in it. There's lots of great templates online now. Look around, pick something that really represents you nicely. And the sections to include in the first third of your resume always are profile overview, skills and abilities section, and an accomplishment area. Most recruiters only glance at the first third, so it's the most important to make stand out and jump off the page. Number 3, update your LinkedIn profile right away. When updating this, you can turn off the notification first so that anyone that works with you and that's in your LinkedIn network won't be notified of your updates. Very important little detail. Be sure to include skills at the bottom of your profile statement. This is something that's overlooked and recruiters really appreciate. Also, instead of having your last job title as a title on your profile, enter in a new title that represents you, something like Creative and Innovative Leader in Human Resources. For each of your jobs, only write a summary of each position. Your resume is what includes the details. People get confused with this. The details always go on your resume. And go only 10 years back in your work experience. Anything more than that is too much. Number 4, reach out to recruiters and temp agencies right away. In any city, there are many different temp agencies, and temp agencies are always looking for good new people. Perform a Google search in your city and find all the temp agencies that you can. Then pick about 5 out that you feel would best represent you in your line of work. Then perform a search for recruiters in your area and select 5 of those. Then talk with them and set up appointments and send them your resumes. You know, I personally love temp agencies. They're actually one of my favorite ways to try out new employment. It allows you to test the waters, maybe in a new company, even in a new area, and then you can find out what it's like to work for that company. Then, recruiters are always looking for good clients to sell to companies seeking good employees. Most are very anxious to learn about you and get you signed up. So, if you put in your notice, let's say for 2 weeks, and you're just so miserable you can't take it anymore, you literally can be working a temp assignment the very next week. So temp agencies are really great. Number 5, put a simple Excel spreadsheet together with the following pages: contacts made, jobs applied for, agencies signed up with, and networking events. By tracking your progress, you'll be able to keep on top of your job search and be very diligent about it. Reaching out to people on LinkedIn can also be considered contacts. Apply for jobs that you think you could do, even if they're a little bit different and outside of what you do currently. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Just be sure to explain in your cover letter to the employer why you applied and how you think it relates and what excited you about the job in your cover letter. Consider also applying for remote positions. There are lots of great sites now where you can work from home that are real jobs, such as FlexJobs, Remote.co, Just Remote, and We Work Remotely, just to name a few of the actual websites out there. And in fact, Indeed, if you plug in remote jobs, will also bring up a whole category of jobs as well. Number 6, begin applying for other jobs. Now, if you can't go without another job for a few weeks, ideally you would like to take a break for a little while to collect yourself emotionally and give yourself a little bit of breather between jobs. But I realize not a lot of people can do that. They may not have savings or funds to do this. So if you're going to start applying for jobs, please, please, please apply for good jobs and not just a job. You don't want to end up in the same situation. So apply for jobs that make sense, that are within your career path and align with your skills and your goals. Don't act out of desperation either. Always look for jobs that actually interest you. Don't simply apply for jobs that are to help you get out of your current job. Decisions made out of desperation are almost always bad decisions. So make sure you're applying for jobs that you really want. All right, so we've talked about the steps that you can take to get out of that bad job as soon as possible. Now, here are some reasons why you need to walk away if it is a bad job and you're feeling miserable. Number 1, a bad job costs you time. It costs you time you could be spending building your career versus wasting time in a job you really don't like. Leave and continue your career in a very positive way. Number 2, a bad job costs you time with friends and family. Bad jobs make us miserable and rob us of our joy. We are often thinking about a bad job when we're with family and friends on our off time. It's not fair to you or to them. Number 3, a bad job costs you undue stress. It has been found that a bad job and stress associated with that bad job is as dangerous to your health as smoking or lack of physical exercise. That's right. And the stress wears on your health, and it is not worth your health or getting sick over. Number 4, a bad job costs you happiness. It's difficult to be happy when you're in a job that you're just miserable in. Our work life, unfortunately, affects all other aspects of our life. Move on so that you can be happy again in all areas of your life. Number 5, a bad job damages your self-esteem. Many people don't realize the toll that a bad job takes on self-esteem. By working in a bad job, it's easy to get caught up and think that it's you when it's really the horrible job that's the issue. Over time, a bad job simply wears a person down, and it's not worth your self-esteem. We've talked about the steps you can take and the reasons why you need to leave a bad job. Now, let's talk about what you need to do to avoid the situation going forward. Number one, create at least a 3-month savings. Now, the reason to do this is it gives you freedom to make decisions. It gives you freedom to walk away or to go in a completely different direction if you've made a mistake in taking that job. So, I have done this for years, to be honest. After I had a couple bad jobs, I realized I needed the option to walk away. And I have never regretted that. And in fact, I actually save a lot more than 3 months. I usually have up to a year. So then that way I can take my time in finding the next job. Number two, ask really good interview questions. This is not about impressing the employer. It's about figuring out, is that next job a good fit for you? What about the culture? What about the team? What about the organization? What is it really like on the inside? You want to learn as much as you can. You want to act like a detective when interviewing so that you hopefully make a much better choice as you move forward. Last but not least, number three, always keep your resume updated. Now here's the thing, you may start out in a job and it may be wonderful. You may have a manager that you really get along with and coworkers that you really like. But at any time, this could change. Those coworkers could leave, your manager could leave, and then maybe someone else assumes that role that you don't like or don't get along with. Things change, and you have to be ready for that today. So always keep your resume updated and be ready to start looking when you need to. And don't stay in a job longer than you need to. If you sense it's going downhill, it's time to leave. Now, please know that you can get yourself free of any job. It's really up to you. Don't feel like you're stuck. Just make the decision to leave and set your date. Your emotional health is so much more worth it than that bad job. We have now talked about the steps you can take to get yourself out of that bad job and why you should, as well as how to prevent this situation from happening again to the best of your ability. Please subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to check out the Career Rescue Coach Facebook page for great articles and advice. Be sure to share your comments below. I would love to hear from you. I love comments. Here are my social media addresses for you to come visit me in other locations. And I'll be starting a website soon called the Career Rescue Coach, where it will have even more resources and tools for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Dawn Casey as a Career Rescue Coach. Remember, change your job, change your life. Be safe and be well.